What's up, everybody? I'm back. It's Wednesday, and I'm doing, I guess I'm kind of doing this for the meme. I generally do try to stay away from, like, just trying to jump on SEO stuff, because I think that's a little bit dishonest. I know it's not. Like, I do understand that there are lots of people who build their careers off of, you know, doing the song that's, like, currently hitting. But you'll notice I've never done a Taylor Swift song. I've never done an Ed Sheeran song. I've never done a, I don't know, Katy Perry or Lady Gaga. Like, I really don't do songs of artists that I don't listen to or like. There are songs that I may do from artists that I haven't listened to, but if I don't like it, I don't go back, right? I don't just do videos just to get views. Obviously, views are nice, but I want to do it in a way that I feel like is honest. And I don't really want to bait and switch people by doing a Taylor Swift song that I don't like and then being like, I don't like this. I already know I wouldn't like it. I don't like Taylor Swift. You know, come at me. There's no law that says I have to. Okay, so all of that to say, I'm doing an AFROMAN song. And this was all over Twitter a couple days ago. It might have been on, I don't know, TikTok or Reddit. I don't know. But basically, I'll tell the story after the song. I didn't really grow up listening to AFROMAN. I know one song by AFROMAN, which is the same song that everybody knows, which is Because I Got High. That's all I know. I haven't listened to this one. I know the story behind this one, but we're coming in cold. So hopefully it's a good song. Hopefully you guys like it. And hopefully I like it, because I'm the one that's got to sit here and listen to it. Before we get started, a couple things. Like and subscribe. You know, helps me out. I'm not a professional musician, rapper, or lyricist, so I'm probably not going to get too into the weeds of like how this got put together, other than, you know, the overall or overarching story of how this came to be. And don't be a dick. You know, I say this on every video. It's very important to me. And every once in a while, and this just happened actually, surprisingly enough, every once in a while, an artist whose video I cover will actually watch it, or at least they will see that it has been done and they'll comment on it. And, you know, listen, I'm not going to be dishonest about my thoughts, but also I'm not going to start shit to start shit. And I don't want people in my comments to be, you know, slagging off the artist because of this or that, right? Because, like, they're real people. They're real people who work hard to make music. They put a lot of their heart into it. And it hurts. No matter how successful you are, I'm confident it is unpleasant to see people saying nasty things about you. So unless they are deserved, like Marilyn Manson, right? Say nasty things about him, he deserves it. He is a monster. But in general, unless there's a really good reason, I like to just try to keep things pretty polite. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. This is Will You Help Me Repair My Door by AFROMAN. I guess technically it's Will You Help Me Repair Me Door.
Lemon pound cake. The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping. kidnapping? Are you kidding? I make my money rapping. Why does the warrant say narcotics? Well, I know narcotics, but why kidnapping? Let me ask you something, officer. Any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets? Are there any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets? You crooked cops need to stop it. There are no kidnapping victims in my suit pockets. Let me ask you another question. Is there 1,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets? Is there 1,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets? You crooked cops need to stop it. There's not 1,000,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets. Let me ask you something else. Any kidnapping victims inside my CDs? Any kidnapping victims inside my CDs? The Adams County Sheriff Department, you can get these. There are no kidnapping victims in my CDs. How many pounds of weed are inside my CDs? How many pounds of weed are inside my CDs? Adams County Sheriff, you can get these. How many pounds of weed did you find in my CDs? Why are you stealing my money? Why are you stealing my money? You represent the law and it's funny. You're stealing my legal work hard every day. Pay taxes, money. The sheriff disconnected my cameras. The sheriff disconnected my cameras. The sheriff should be locked up in slammers. The Adams County Sheriff Department disconnected my cameras. Did you have to traumatize my kids? 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 Will you pay me for doing me wrong? Will you pay me for doing me wrong? Will you pay me for doing me wrong? Or will I have to get paid from this song? How you think they gonna buy this, man?
All right, I really like that one. You know, the beat was pretty simple, pretty chill. Just kind of went through the whole track. But also, this song was put together, I think, in a fairly quickly. So, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the song, then I'm gonna talk a little bit about the American justice system. So, strap in for some fun. All right, so the song is based on a real thing that happened to AFROMAN recently. He got fucking raided by the cops. I believe he was arrested. I don't know if he was home or not at the time. I don't remember that part of the story. I know that he was released. So, you know, this all didn't need to happen. But that's where this video came from, right? He got the surveillance footage, both from his own cameras and also from the body cams being worn by the department, and turned it into this video, which he made a song about. And that's pretty cool. Like, more power to him. I respect it. Now, let's talk about the police system. There's a line where he's talking about them stealing his money. And if you've watched, like, all of my videos, there are a couple where I talked about this before, but most of you will not have seen that. There's this thing in the U.S. called civil asset forfeiture. And what civil asset forfeiture means is the cops are legally allowed to steal from you. To be more specific, let's say, I always use this example, okay? Let's say you're traveling somewhere because you just bought a car, like, online, all right? So you bought a car on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or something, and you've got like $2,500 in cash with you because you're gonna go pay for it. You didn't buy a nice car, all right? You're doing well. You're paying in cash, but you're not doing that well. So you've got $2.5 grand in hundreds in your car, all right? And you get pulled over on your way to pick up this car. And the cop who pulls you over says, "Do you have any, large sums of money on you?" And you say, "Well, I am going to go buy a car because, you're a trusting individual. You believe the police are there to help you. Yeah, I'm just on my way to buy a car." The cop says to you, "That's not true. That money is being used for drugs, with a capital D, drugs. And I'm seizing it." Now, that's legal for him to do. And here is the way it works. Your money has been accused of a crime. You are not. You may not even be given a ticket or a warning by this cop for this traffic stop, right? You didn't break any laws. He just pulled you over because it's called a preemptive, or preemptive stop, right? It's just sort of on the suspicion that you might be doing something you shouldn't be doing. So he pulls you over, he takes your money. Now, in the American justice system, there is this, you are guaranteed the right to a lawyer, right? Even if you cannot afford one will be provided for you. That's the way the system works, right? That's what a public defender is. Your money is presumed guilty. And because your money is an object, not a person, it's not guaranteed the right to a lawyer. So the cop takes your money. Your money is accused of being guilty, which is funny because it's an inanimate object, but, whatever. And until you go to court, which means you got to hire a lawyer, right? You have to hire a lawyer yourself to go to court to try and defend yourself and your money and prove that your money wasn't being used for illicit purposes, right? If you have a receipt or something, then great. You've got a message on Facebook saying, "Here's the car, here's how much it costs, come by on Friday and pick it up." And you got pulled over on Friday. Well, you can prove that that money wasn't being used for illegal purposes, but it's still going to cost you a lawyer, right? Because if you do not prove that, they get to keep it. At a state level, the state police department gets to keep 80% of what they take from you, or 80% of the proceeds, right? Let's say they take your car because they accuse you of smuggling drugs or something like that, right? So they seize your car and accuse your car of being criminal. They can sell it and keep 80% of the proceeds. 20% goes to the federal government or the federal, federal justice system maybe. I'm not exactly sure where the federal money goes, but they get 20%. Local office gets to keep 80%. Now, for $2,500, it's probably worth getting a lawyer, right? Because that's a good chunk of money. But what if they took $80? What if they took $12 off you, right? I'm going to get political again. This is what was happening in Ferguson. For those of you who are American or were paying attention in 2014, when all of the frustration bubbled over in Ferguson, Missouri after the killing of Michael Brown, some things became known. One, almost every black resident of that town had been stopped and harassed multiple times. Cops were taking like literal pocket change off of people under civil asset forfeiture. 90% of the cops in that town were white, in a town that is, I think, something like 80 to 85% black. And they were just harassing the residents of the town over and over, seizing their shit. And again, if you take a good chunk of money from me or my car, then yeah, I'm probably going to get a lawyer to try and defend it. Bear in mind, it's presumed guilty until you prove that it's innocent, which is very difficult to do in some circumstances. But if he takes $20 from you, you might not be able to replace that $20. You might not have a lawyer. A lot of people don't know a lawyer to call. And not only is this legal, it's encouraged because of the war on drugs. I have a strong, on this channel, a strong, firm conviction that policing, particularly in the U.S., but in a lot of places, I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of places where the police are more corrupt than ours, but ours are plenty corrupt. There's this expression that goes ACAB. It's popular here. It stands for all cops are bastards. And some people would say, well, not my cousin. My cousin's a great cop. He's just out there every day just trying to help people. He's just helping little old ladies across the street. He rescued some black children from a burning building. He's just a stand-up guy. Fuck him. Be a firefighter. Right? If you want to help people, be a firefighter. Be an EMT. Go be a nurse. Go do something that actually helps people. Because if you are a cop and you work in this justice system and you are not turning in dirty cops, you are dirty. That's it. I don't have any room for discussion on this. Because if you know that the cops you're working with are abusing people, are taking advantage of people, are raping people that they're arresting, and you just let it go because you're trying to change the system from within or whatever, look, there are people who do that. It's a noble idea. It doesn't work, but it's a good idea. But if you know that shit is happening and you just go along with it, you don't necessarily do dirty stuff yourself, right? You're not out there shaking down old ladies for money, but you know cops on your beat who are, and you don't turn them in. You're just as guilty. I know I'm kind of ranting here, but like this is really serious to me. One of my friends was killed by a cop. There's a verse in the Bible that says, the man who knows the good he should do, but doesn't do it, sins. Now, you don't have to believe in the Bible, totally fine. But the example, right, the point is, if you know the right thing and you don't do the right thing, you are doing the wrong thing, right? By the act of not doing what is right, you are doing what is wrong. And to be clear, there are some cops who do the right thing. They turn in dirty cops, right? They go to the superiors. They try to, go through the chain of command and get internal affairs and all that stuff. There are some cops who do that. And you know what happens? They get run out of the force. Or they end up having no backup. Or to get more conspiratorial, right? They could get set up because nobody likes a rat. And if you're ratting out the criminals in the police department, then you are a rat. Yeah, it's deeply offensive. It is almost always targeted at black people, brown people, people who don't have a lot of resources to fight back, right? You don't frequently hear about a guy driving a Jaguar getting stopped and having his Jaguar impounded because he was using it for drugs, even though wealthy white people love drugs. It's absolutely despicable. And so You'll notice at the end of a lot of my videos, I say, don't talk to cops. And I mean that. Absolutely. Do not talk to cops. Plead the fifth, right? Ask for your lawyer. Don't be friendly with them. I have no patience. I have no time for it. They will fuck you. Absolutely. At some point, maybe I'll talk about the prison labor industry, but not today. I've already gone long enough. Back to the song. I like the song. It's a fun song. I enjoyed it. He's a talented artist. Like, I never really did listen to him much, but he's sort of a comedic guy, right? A lot of jokes in the songs, and he's talented. It's a good song. It sucks what happened to him, and I hope he sues the shit out of those cops. But here's the thing. Here's another little tidbit for you. Cops are not liable for any damages. That's taxpayer money. So the cops in your city are running wild, right? And they kill a kid, and the family sues the department and wins. That's great. That's justice for the family. I mean, it's not really, because their kid is fucking dead, but at least they're going to get some money out of it to sort of, acknowledge that they were wronged. Restitution, right? That's great, but the police are not responsible for that money. That comes out of taxpayer dollars, not out of the police budget. They're not required to carry their own liability insurance. They are basically untouchable. They are both the law and above the law. And if you look at a cop funny, he can put you in jail for 3 days. It is infuriating. And it's why I take a very strong anti-police stance on this channel. I'm not pro violent crime. All right, let me be clear. I'm not saying we should just get rid of the police so that bad things can happen. But what crimes do police stop anyway? They're there to come shoot your dog. Go look that up. Go look up how many dogs get killed by police every year. They're there to show up at your house, tell you, bummer, you should have invested in better locks, and then fuck off. That's it. That's what they do. So this has been a fairly animated video for me, but as I said before, I feel very strongly about this subject. Thank you guys for watching. I try not to get into this stuff too frequently, but sometimes it needs to be said. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Drink lots of water. And you already know what's coming. Do not ever fucking talk to cops.